Hello guys, in this video we talk about the structure of the adrenal gland. So stay with me and know about the adrenal gland. So as we know, the adrenal gland is also called suprarenal gland, and this adrenal gland is located at the above of the kidney. Okay, this is the structure of the kidney. This is the structure of the kidney, and the adrenal gland is above of the kidney, located the above of the kidney. First of all, the location of the as I said, the location of the adrenal gland is above of the kidney, so it is added on the kidney. So in this adrenal gland, we talk about the internal structures and the outer structures, outer structure also. So this adrenal gland, okay, this adrenal gland, it divides into two parts, that is internal and outer structure. The internal, it's called adrenal cortex, and the internal structure, that's called the adrenal medulla. So it divides into the internally it divides into two structures, that's called adrenal cortex, and the another one is adrenal medulla. So we talk about these two one by one, what the adrenal cortex is, and what are the structure of adrenal cortex, and what type of hormones it releases. And same, we talk about the adrenal medulla, what the adrenal medulla is, and what type of hormones it releases. So first of all, we need to compare these two. We need to know, is it similar or is it different things. So first of all, we talk about the origin of the adrenal cortex and the adrenal medulla. The origin of the adrenal cortex is mesoderm. Okay, and the origin of this medulla, that is ectoderm. So the origin of the adrenal cortex is mesoderm, and the origin of the adrenal medulla is called ectoderm. And they also differs the percentage of how much the adrenal cortex is and how much the adrenal medulla is. The adrenal cortex percentage is 80%, and the medulla percentage is only 20%. So it differs also in the percentage. And now we talk about the differentiation. This adrenal cortex, the adrenal cortex differentiation is it differentiates in three zones. That's three zones. That is, the first one is zona glomerulus. The second one is, I shift it down, zona fasciculata, and the third is zona reticularis. The adrenal medulla, it's not differentiated in any zones, so it's not differentiated. So the adrenal cortex is differentiated into three zones, that is zona glomerulus, the second one is zona fasciculata, and the third one is zona reticularis. And the adrenal medulla is not differentiated in any zones. So the next one is the hormones. What the adrenal cortex hormones, what type of hormones release the adrenal cortex, and what type of hormones release the adrenal medulla. So the hormones, if we talk about the hormones, the adrenal cortex releases mineral corticoids, glucocorticoids, third one is sex corticoids. And the adrenal medulla. Adrenal medulla releases adrenaline and noradrenaline. So the adrenal cortex releases three hormones, that is mineralocorticoids, glucocorticoids, and the sex corticoids. And the medulla releases adrenaline and noradrenaline. So the nature of the hormones, then if we talk about the nature of the hormones of cortex and medulla, the nature of the cortex, adrenal cortex, nature of the hormones is steroids. These are the steroids. And the medulla, it's the amines or amine. So this is the differentiate between adrenal cortex and the adrenal medulla. So that if we talk about the origin is mesoderm, and the adrenal medulla is ectoderm. If we talk about the percentage, so the percentage is the adrenal cortex is 80% and the medulla percentage is 20%. And if we talk about the zones, so this cortex contains three zones, that is zona glomerularis and the zona fasciculata, and the third one is zona reticularis. And the adrenal medulla, it is not differentiated any type of zones. And if we talk about the hormones, the adrenal cortex releases mineralocorticoids, glucocorticoids, and the third one is sex corticoids. And the medulla part of the adrenal gland releases adrenaline and noradrenaline. So if we talk about the nature of the hormones, these are the steroids and these are the amines. So now we talk about the structure. This is the outer part of the adrenal medulla. And this is the cortex part, which I am drawing. There is another packing of cells. So it's the structure of the cortex part. This part is called cortex, and these cells are called zona glomerularis, and this is zona fasciculata, and this is zona reticularis. So this part is adrenal cortex part, and the another part, that is medulla part. These are cells of medulla, which is the internal part. This is the medulla part. Okay, this is the medulla part. Okay, and this part is called cortex part. So this is the medulla part. Okay, now we talk about what the zona glomerularis releases, and what the fasciculata releases, what type of hormones release, and what type of this zone reticularis, what type of hormone release. And this is the medulla part. This whole part, okay, this whole part, sorry, one thing I forgot, this is called fibrous capsule. it's only protected. Okay, it is a protection. This capsule protects inside. What the inside is, this membrane or this fibrous capsule help us in protection. Okay, so this whole part is called, as I mentioned here, adrenal cortex. Okay, and this part only is called medulla. As I said, this is the adrenal cortex. The adrenal cortex part, it is about 80%, and this part, medulla part, it's about 20%. So the zona glomerularis releases or secreted mineralocorticoids, and the zona fasciculata releases glucocorticoids, and the reticularis, this part releases sex corticoids. Okay, and this part, as I said already, the medulla part, it has two hormones. It releases two hormones, that is adrenaline and noradrenaline. Okay, so this part, medulla part, releases adrenaline and noradrenaline. As I said, this part is about 80%, the cortex part is 80%, and the medulla part is 20%. So these are the zones of the cortex part, such as zona glomerularis releases mineralocorticoids, and the zona fasciculata, which releases glucocorticoids, and the zona reticularis, which contains sex corticoids. So it was about the structure of the adrenal gland. In next video we talk about in these zona glomerularis one by one in next part of this video. So what the zona glomerularis is, and how it releases the mineralocorticoids, or how these zona fasciculata or this glucocorticoid, how it releases the hormones. So in the next video we talk about these things. So I hope you like this video, share this video, and comment this video. Thank you.